Alright, so I'm pretty sure I understand now what the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is all about, okay? He's a reporter, guys, reporting for a magazine to cover a story, okay? To cover the news, guys, okay? But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't end up doing that. Instead, he ends up having a crazy trip down a wild ride filled with drugs and nonsense and, you know, trying to find out what the American dream is all about, guys. Because he knows that reporting on some bullshit event means nothing in comparison to understanding what life is all about, American dream. And this, I guess, anti-hero sets out on his quest to do just that. He doesn't give a shit about his job, guys, okay? He sees that it's bullshit, okay? And he knows that he's good at what he does, but he likes to do what he wants to do. Document it, guys. That's what it feels like I've been doing. I've been documenting my journey the best I can to really try to convince myself that I'm not actually crazy. Because, okay, seeing something once or twice or a couple times is one thing, but then, like, it's effortless, guys. With the gematria decodes, I'm seeing signs and symbols with random jargon that comes out of my face. And it's, I don't know, making me think, guys. I think that's something I decoded a long time ago, was the phrase, think a little bit within the cell. You know? I think it's something we should all be doing. Think of all of the people in Earth as a depiction of a piece of paper or a two-dimensional plane. Now, think about taking said piece of paper and cutting a very elaborate snowflake pattern out of it. You know, you fold it up and you cut it out with scissors, guys, and all the little bits fall off, and then you open it up, and it becomes 4 quadrants, okay, of snowflake, or 8 quadrants, or however you folded it, guys. And what you are left with is a depiction of a new representation of heaven, okay? So the location of heaven could have changed based on your cuts on the paper from when it was a full sheet of paper. And there is a representation of a new one, meaning the paper snowflake as a whole. Okay? So you have 2 circles, one in the middle and one all around, and then you have the space in between. Okay, guys? It's literally broken into 3. I like to talk about those 3 parts as the Vesica Pisces, okay? The 3 concentric circles. You know how, like, Audi is worth a lot of money for those cars, and their logo is 4 concentric circles, depicting maybe the 4th dimension? Or viewing the 88 in a completely different way? So, started watching Rango, and that starts like, wow, guys. He's putting on a play, acting in his enclosure. When you find out that he's in the back of a truck or something, talking about how his plays are no good because they lack a conflict. Because in order to create something, you must first destroy it. And as he says that, his enclosure falls out of the truck, smashes on the highway, and he's all alone on the road, you know? An animal who's only ever known reality in entrapment. So the first thing that the lizard, or chameleon, runs across, quite literally almost, is an armadillo who's crushed by a car. Okay, the tire went through the armadillo, depicting a big fat ball, a flat line, and a big fat ball, which is the opposite of 110. So talks to that guy. Apparently, that guy gets back up. He's like his soul guide or something. And then he takes off into the desert. And the guy's like, "You want me to walk into the desert?" And all he sees is nothing but desert. He's like, "You want me to walk there because I'm going to find a town if I walk that way." So, based on his faith, he takes off and goes into the desert because he's lived in a box his whole life. When someone says something to you, why would you question it, What would you know better? How would you know what's out there? So he goes out there and he encounters his first predator. And sadly enough, the frog or animal that alerted him about the predator is the one who eventually gets picked up by the predator. So he makes it through for another day. And then he goes in the hole or tube, and then the water flushes out, and it all evaporates, and then he has a shotgun pointed at his face by a female lizard. Introduce the male and female relationship part of the movie. And like there literally was a moment of inception when he's flying through the air and hitting cars and stuff. Like, the Hunter S. Thompson chameleon lands on a windshield of a car, a convertible, red one, being driven by Hunter S. Thompson. Okay? It's interesting. So, yeah. Apart from those movies and my decodes of my reality, and how I'm interpreting them, and how I think that right now, my soul, if I were to put a dot on that snowflake, would be at the center of said snowflake. Because I understand n+1 and n+2. I understand that the Earth is cellular. I understand that light can bend. I understand how nature is modeled after Fibonacci sequence. I understand that the Fibonacci sequence that we know about is only the beginning, guys. Once you expand that one-dimensional series onto a two-dimensional plane, then you have a grid to work with. And once you see a pattern in the grid and understand how it's folding in on itself at different times, depicting different three-dimensional shapes with the vertices, like basically, so cubes within cubes, octagons within octagons, and then all the vertices are connected. Just think of it like that. And then model everything about creation after cellular biology. Okay? Right now, the Earth is healing. I think we're almost at the end of the 7-year tribulation period. Okay? I think there's another 3 years after that. And I think those 3 years depict the new heaven. Okay? Because right now, man was created last out of all the things. So plants were created first. Plants are closest to God. Next, the fish were created. Next, the birds. Next, the cattle. Next, the creepy things. Next, the beasts. Next, man. Male and female. So we're the farthest away from God. Okay, everything else is closer to us. I think they're already awake, guys. Your dogs and stuff, they're awake. You're asleep. They're looking at you like, come on, bud, it's getting sad, So, we're waking up, and I think that it takes 7 years for that to happen. So starting in December 21st, 2011, plus 7 years would be December 21st, 2018. Okay? So, 2017, when it ends, I think that you have to wait like an n+1 for the spell to be truly cast for the first time or something. Like basically you take a year to collect data, and then the year after is, at the end of that year is when the spell is cast, after all the data has been collected. These are just ideas and theories, guys. I don't know. I've had pretty good discernment up to this point. Because I understand that we're here to learn a lesson. Probably multiple lessons, guys. And one of the lessons is love. And love can only be established via forgiveness. I have 2 children, not 1, for support payments. Like my mom would say, thank you very much. Just want to see my little babes. I will. Wow. I mean... But at the same time, I cannot get mad. See, this is the thing. Everyone's wondering why I'm not mad at my ex. I'm not mad. I am frustrated, but I'm not mad. Actually, it's fucking sad because the more I endure, and the more pain I go through, and the more whatever, the more I actually love her. Because I know deep down within, I wouldn't be here in a bus shelter right now, talking to you on a park bench, pretty loudly, which is why I left the house to go to a park bench to talk to you, really loud. Because I'm so confident that I've come across something so huge, which will change everything. And I think those 3 years after the 7 years of tribulation are going to be the 3 corners of the new earth. New earth being Armageddon, the 33-dimensional cell. We are evolving. Okay, guys? I'm not sure to where yet. But we're going to evolve, okay? Like the 4 corners of the earth, guys, is a representation of the 4 corners of the top and bottom square-based pyramid, which creates 2 top and bottom apexes of said pyramids, where all of the light comes from, in the central singularity of heaven, which is a glass ceiling above us, many layers of different gases, which are magnetized at different frequencies from the source, depicting the luminaries from Genesis 1. I want more people in the middle of the snowflake with me, okay? I can't hate the people that have wronged me, because without them I wouldn't be making the revelations I am doing today. That is a very common thing to understand. I don't think people get me, because I can let it slide off my back like water on a duck's back, guys. And apparently that's a bad thing. So, yeah, like, it's funny. The plan's working backwards, guys. Like, how can I be doing the opposite of what you think I should be doing? How could I feel more for my ex than I have ever done? And how can I feel more for my kids now than I have ever done? I felt for my kids a lot, guys, before, so. Anyways, I got that off my chest. Little story. That's what this is, guys. YouTube. This is my Bible. Okay, I tell you stories. We talk about things, numbers, reality, things that can help, maybe offer a different point of view. You don't have to take this as the truth. You don't have to. I don't even want to hear about it if you think it's good. I don't like praise. I don't like compliments. Compliments weird me out, guys. So, that's all I gotta say. I hope they all make sense. Come join me at the center of the snowflake. Find a channel and vibrate and resonate your frequency towards the main dot. Now remember, in the G, okay, you have 7 chakras, plus the 3 and the 2. There's that 1 in the corner, because, yeah, okay, we're 12th dimensional beings, but we're from somewhere. There's always a plus 1. Man is a 13th dimensional being, guys. So is the earth. So is heaven. This is a 13th dimensional reality. We are just starting our journey. And I think the faster we wake up and start working together, quicker things will move along, and the quicker things will improve for the collective. Cheers.